Hi everybody, today we're going to do a video about a coal burning furnace. This is a solid fuel furnace. It'll burn wood or coal, and it is designated as such from the factory. Get you a little close up here. It is a Numac from Canada. This particular unit's been in operation for 18 years. And at this point it can also, during a power outage, be a gravity furnace. Up above on the top is an electric add-on unit which has the capability to provide electric backup heat, or the main firebox down below and ash dump below, which can be used for the more efficient. Basically it can be free if you use firewood, but coal's very inexpensive. And basically what we do here is come in, open up the firebox, and inside there, in that chamber, to light a coal fire, it's relatively easy, about real similar to starting a wood fire. I'm going to pause this and get it ready. So, there's still just a couple hot coals in the corner from the fire from this morning. We got to about 50 degrees today. It was really sunny out and didn't need to add anything during the day. So I've emptied the ashes. The ash access door allows you to a tray, and that tray just slides out. You take the ashes out about every few days. They recommend every single day. Just depends on your use. Up in Canada you might burn enough. Here in the Midwest we don't need to burn quite that much. So I've essentially crumpled up some newspaper, put in some kindling wood, just a few pieces from the sawmill shed, and I'm going to use this long match, get it lit, get the paper going. So we'll let that get going. This little blower fan up here, we can go ahead and kick it on, and it's blowing a little bit of air down through a little slot that's right underneath here, and then in the door there's this slot. So when it's during normal operation, you set the thermostat. When it calls for heat, it will actually blow air down through that slot down into the lower part underneath to get the coal fire going, or wood, either one. And then when it doesn't call for heat, that little blower fan kicks off. And that's how you can regulate. You blow on some air and get it glowing, get it burning a little hotter. Then when it warms up, it just kind of dies back down, and that's how you can kind of regulate. You can also adjust with this little lever right here. You can close it off or open it up. It's kind of like your damper. So we're going to let that fire get going for about a minute or two, and then I'll come back and add some coal. While that's getting going, over here on the other side of the furnace, we've got the draft control built in, and then we've got triple wall stovepipe that runs on up, and the triple wall stovepipe just goes on up and out. And the nice thing about coal is you never have creosote buildup. You'll get black soot, but the black soot is absolutely will not start a chimney fire. Okay, it's been about 3 or 4 minutes, and for the coal, have a dump truck bring a load and drop it off outside. It's really inexpensive. I live in the Ohio River Valley, real close to the Ohio River, and because of that, barges transport coal to all the power plants and various other things. So I can get it really inexpensive, maybe about $110 per ton. Now, a pickup truck, if you were to fill it level, will hold about 2 tons. And that 2 tons for about $220 would last almost one full season, about 4 months of off and on burning from November through March. And that's less expense overall than the cost of firewood. If you have access and you're young and you can do firewood, this furnace, you could do firewood if you can get access to it for free, and you could do it for literally for free. But doing it this way, it costs about $50 a month, which is really inexpensive. And basically this fire's been going, we got that kindling going, and we do have this blower fan going on it. It's creating like a little air curtain that's blowing air down across that opening, which helps keep there's no smoke, no fumes coming out at all right now. And basically we just get some scoops of this coal and just put it in there, and I'm going to do about 5 scoops, and then we'll let it just sit there. Sorry, not real coordinated with dealing with the camera and doing this at the same time. Now we'll just go ahead and shut that door. We'll let that get going for about 10 to 20 minutes. And then we can come back and at that point decide if we want to load it up. If we really have if it's really cold outside, we can add a little bit more, or we can just let that burn. That small amount, tonight it's going to drop down to about 32 degrees, right at freezing Fahrenheit, and it's 6 o'clock at night right now. I'll leave that go, and at 9 o'clock I will put in about 1/4 of a bucket on top of the coals that are left, and it will burn all the way through till about 5 a.m. At which time then I'll just stir up the coals, add a few scoops, and we'll be back. And this method keeps the house right around 75 degrees. You can run around the house all day in shorts, no problem. This furnace also does have a central air conditioning system, and it is on the return side, the cold air return side of the furnace. That way the A coil is not directly above the firebox portion. There's a fresh air intake pipe coming in. And one important, very important note: if you're going to burn coal, it is critical that the appliance that you burn it in is approved for coal. Coal will get too hot. If it's only approved for wood, you run a high risk of actually burning it out, literally melting your appliance. So please consider that. This is down in a basement, concrete floor. This 80 to 100,000 BTUs heats 1,800 square feet upstairs and a full basement. And something else, it's been about 15-20 minutes. It does go through an initial burn that is really hot, and it smokes a bit. There's no smoke coming out because of that air curtain. And after about 30 minutes total, it will be just nice glowing coals. Well, at this point it's been about 45 minutes since we started, and basically inside we're down to just some nice glowing coals. Thanks for watching, everybody.